look at some of today's stars, and that was great talk about Terry and Tully, two of my all-time favorites. I always enjoyed. I haven't seen Terry in a while, but I run into Tully now and again, and just a great guy. And you fall into the same old patterns of kidding around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As you did. But I want to talk about a phenomenon in wrestling. I'm curious to hear your opinion to this. Are there too many champions in wrestling? And hear me out. In WWE, there are 16 different champions, not including the king and queen of the ring. In AEW, there are 6 champions, and that doesn't include the Owen Hart tournaments that are coming up. How much does having so many titles dilute any title, or doesn't it matter?
I think it does, because I think I think it dilutes it. I absolutely do. But let's look at the world we live in today. You remember the President's the President's Physical
Fitness Council. No, look at me. Obviously, I don't.
But do you remember that?
I remember it existed. Yes, I did not participate.
To find out who was the most fit child in high school, right?
Right, exactly.
They
wasn't
got rid
me.
of it. No, but they got rid of it, right? Because everybody wants to be equal. Instead of being 3 places, now there's 8 places or 6 places in wrestling tournaments. I mean, it's everything is diluted because whether it's mothers not wanting to see their children upset, everybody gets a trophy. That's not what sports are all about. And I think because there's so much TV, that they have put themselves in a position where they have to create like the king and queen and all that. But the people that are carrying the weight of the company, and I'll use WWE as an example, would be Becky and Big E, as they're the champions, and it's Ashley or Charlotte and Roman Reigns. And everything else is just something that doesn't diminish who they are, but it's just something to hopefully attract viewers.
Well, right, and it says a lot that I don't even know who the Intercontinental Champion is right now. And that used to be a big deal back in the day when there were so many fewer belts. Mm-hmm. But whoever is the Intercontinental Champion...
it's funny, I don't know who it is either.
Well, right,
and I watch the shows.
It's probably a very good performer, but the belt doesn't help him and he doesn't help the belt, so why have it?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's funny, I feel bad that I don't, because I watch all the shows now, But I mean, TV rolls on, and they know better than you and I do, obviously, because they're there. Well, what it draws viewers and that, but and I love that Zelina. I think she's been a very good talent, but I don't buy that queen versus queen stuff at all. Does that make sense?
No, nobody does.
No.
That's kind of the point. Like, I look at some of the titles. Like, we can't remember who the Intercontinental Champion is. Okay? Then you got the 24/7 champion in AEW.
Well, but that to me, when R-Truth is involved in that is good TV. If you got to put humor in TV, that Ronnie has put that, taken it to a whole new level. And the little Japanese kid that chases him around, I mean,
Tozawa.
Yeah, that has been. I have actually found that very entertaining at times.
Well, the fact
I had Ronnie beat me in a bar one night. I covered him, but they never put it on TV.
Well, the fact that you remember who's involved says something good about it. And like in an AEW, you got the
when that stuff that was very entertaining, and when they throw it in periodically, I don't like it being a distraction in the middle of a real good match, which they've done before just to get out of a finish. But Ronnie is a very talented kid, and man, that when he's got that 24/7 thing, I like that idea. If there's got to be entertainment, wrestling is good. And by the way, Ronnie's a hell of a wrestler too.
Now
R-Truth can work.
Another belt, the FTW belt, the F the World belt, which Taz had in ECW just to kind of proclaim himself as the company badass, and it worked for him. I thought it was great with him, but now he has Team Taz. He passed it along to his guys. Brian Cage lost it to Ricky Starks, but they were both his guys at the time. I don't get it. I just don't get the value of that at all.
Neither do I. Other than to have, to be a conversation piece for you and I to discuss.
Yeah, I guess, but like I said, it worked for Taz. It was great for him, but some ideas aren't meant to last in perpetuity.
Well, Taz is a unique character.
Oh, I like Taz.
Yeah, I do too. He could pull off anything, but that doesn't mean that someone else can just take it and be the same character he was.
Now, Nate, before we wrap this segment up, what's the least prestigious title you ever had? Least prestigious.
Well, it must be the one that nobody will count as a world championship. The one that I took off Sting, but they don't count it as a win.
Which one was that? When was that?
When I took it off Sting with Sherry Martel to have it.
Oh no, but that's still the world title, Nate. That can't be the least prestigious. Didn't you have like the?
No, they don't count that.
They didn't count it.
No, I'd have 17. They don't count that.
But you were never like Western States Heritage Champion or anything like that, were you?
I might have been for 6 hours at night somewhere.
Well, what about? Were you ever the Missouri State?
I won a lot of titles between 12 and 6 a.m.
I think you beat me for a couple of them. Now, were you ever Missouri State champion? Because with Muchnick, that was a really big deal in St. Louis. You never won that.
Deal, yeah. That
huge
was the belt. That was the only other belt in St. Louis allowed besides the NWA title. No, it never was. But all the guys that I wrestled, like when I wrestled Kerry was the Missouri State champion. I wrestled Ted DiBiase. Ted was. That was a very prestigious title in the business and in the history of our business.
Yeah, and when we get closer to the Royal Rumble, which is in St. Louis.
And by the way, we're going to be there. Woo!
Let's not give too much away. Let's kayfabe, please.
Why? Thought we were shooting.
No, we'll shoot later.
Hey.
But we'll talk at length.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
No, we'll shoot later. Sit on, please.
I'm practicing.
Now,
I can't wait for a live crowd to ask me some questions.
Yeah, I can't wait for that either. Now, and we'll talk a lot more about the St. Louis, the wrestling at the Chase, Sam Muchnick, all that stuff when we get closer to the Royal Rumble in St. Louis. But I want to talk about some of today's stars in the time we have left, Nate. And before we wrap this up, Nate, let's go off script a little bit. We've not talked enough about the NFL, although we did just a moment ago. See you rolling your eyes, and I don't blame you.
Hey, we're not closing this down without talking about Michigan Friday, okay?
Oh God, is that Friday already?
Yes, it's Friday. It's New Year's, the Orange Bowl. I'm going.
Are you going?
You want to hear my Christmas text?
Go ahead.
From Jim
Coach
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Yeah,
Coach
you want to hear it?
Yep, I do.
Okay, here we go. Who gets these kind of texts? Coach Harbaugh. I wished him a Merry Christmas. He wished me back. I went, woo! Likewise, and the privilege to get to entertain America next Friday. At this very moment, I have a voice screaming in my ear. Who has it better than us? Merry Christmas, Jim. Woo!
That sounds
the voice
like
screaming in his ear is me.
That sounds like him mimicking one of your promos.
No, listen, he's like me, he's an intellect.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I still think...
I wanted to text John yesterday after that.
Ooh.
Jeez, ouch. I've left John alone.
I still think Michigan got screwed in the seedings. I think Michigan should be playing Cincinnati.
I do too, but here's the thing, Mark, about football every day. You got to beat everybody. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, I think they'll beat Georgia, and I think they're going to play Alabama.